All right, today we're going to talk about something absolutely central to Christianity, making disciples. But what if the way we've been doing it, the way it's commonly practiced, is, well, fundamentally flawed? The source material we're digging into today makes a really powerful case that a seemingly small misunderstanding has actually created this massive divide in modern faith. So let's get right into it. Yeah, I'm sure most of you recognize this one, right? It's the Great Commission. It's a foundational command for Christians everywhere. This is the what? The clear, direct instruction from Christ himself. It's super familiar, it's straight to the point, and honestly, it has shaped religious practice for centuries. Okay, and this is where things get interesting. This is the central, pretty provocative question our source material throws out there. It's not about questioning the command itself, not at all. It's about how we're actually carrying it out today. The argument here is that, look, despite all the good intentions in the world, the entire modern method might just be built on a really shaky foundation. So just to be super clear, nobody's questioning the goal. The mission is still to make disciples, period. The whole focus of this critique is squarely on the how. The methods we use, the activities we plan, and maybe most importantly, the whole mindset that's driving a lot of these efforts today. Okay, but before we can even start to critique the method, we all need to be on the same page about what we're even talking about. What is a disciple? Well, according to this source, a disciple is basically a student. They're a learner, an observer, and then, this is key, a reproducer of what they learn. And that's a huge distinction, right? It's not just about learning about Christ, it's about becoming like him. So what's the actual problem here? Well, the author has a name for it: a life divided. The idea is that we've created this artificial man-made wall separating our faith from our everyday lives. And that, right there, is the core diagnosis of what's gone wrong. And this really breaks it down, doesn't it? On one side, you've got church life. This is all the stuff we typically label as religious: organized events, street preaching, special activities. Then on the other side, you have daily life. Your family, your friends, your job. The whole point the source is making is that when we treat faith as something that only belongs in that first column, we completely cut it off from the second column, which, let's be honest, is where we actually live and where real influence happens. And wow, the author does not pull any punches when it comes to the consequences of this split. We're told this separation doesn't just make discipleship ineffective, it completely guts it of its vitality. It turns what should be a living, breathing faith into, and I'm quoting here, a dogmatic and dead religion. I mean, those are some strong words. Okay, so if this divided life is the big problem, then what's the solution? Well, the source calls it the integrated way. And right off the bat, it's important to know this isn't some new program or another 5-step plan. Not at all. It's a whole new vision, a whole new way of seeing things, where faith is just completely woven into the fabric of your everyday life. And here's the absolute core principle, the big mindset shift. There is no separation. Church life is daily life. The argument is that our identity and our faith and our day-to-day existence, they're the same thing. They're not two different worlds. We are the church. It's not just a building we visit once a week. So what does this actually look like? Well, it means discipleship isn't something you schedule. It's not confined to a specific time or place. And look, this isn't about ditching church services or organized gatherings. It's about seeing those things as just one part of a life that's lived for God 24/7. In this view, real discipleship is happening all the time, seamlessly, in our families, with our neighbors, at work, and just in our normal day-to-day conversations. But let's be real. Making this shift from a divided life to an integrated one, it's not easy. The source is really clear on this. This isn't just about picking up a few new habits. It's about the much, much harder work of actually dismantling old ways of thinking that are really deeply ingrained in us. So, how do you even start? The source points to two critical attitudes. First, repentance. And in this context, that just means admitting that the old, divided model we've been using is flawed. It's just not working. And second, humility. You have to be willing to unlearn all that stuff and basically become a student all over again, a true disciple of Christ, not just a follower of man-made systems. This quote really nails it. One of the most difficult things to do for a human being is to unlearn the falsehoods. And that's so true, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing to learn a new fact. It's a whole other ballgame to unlearn a belief you've held and practiced for years. It just shows you how deep and genuinely difficult this kind of internal change is. And in the end, this whole discussion ties back to maybe the biggest question there is. What is life all about? Is it just checking boxes, school, work, family, retirement? The source suggests that the real answer is found in embracing this integrated life of discipleship, because that's what transforms all the mundane, everyday stuff into something deeply meaningful. So it leaves us with this final, really challenging thought to chew on. If our faith doesn't define how we live every single moment, can we really call it faith?